Hi, and welcome to another video on object-oriented programming in C#. With me, Marinas Toman. Okay, so in this video we're going to look at if statements and if-else statements in C#. So C# supports the usual logical conditions from mathematics. So as you seen in the previous video about operators, we have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, just equal to, or not equal to. So you can use these conditions to perform different actions for different decisions. So C# is the following conditional statements. So we use if to specify a block of code to be executed. If a specified condition is true, then the else is used to be executed if the same condition is false. So they're mutually exclusive. It's either if or else. And then we use else if to specify a new condition to test if the first condition is false. So we can start to have a string of conditions, or an if-else ladder. We can also use switch as well, similar to Java, to specify many alternative blocks of code to be executed. So we'll have a look. We'll start off first with the if statement. So we can use the if statement to specify a block of code to be executed if a condition is true. So this condition here is basically going to be a Boolean expression, and the evaluation has to be true for this block of code to be executed. So note that if is in lowercase letters, uppercase I, F, or IF will generate an error, so make sure and keep them lowercase. So in the example below, we test two values to find out if 20 is greater than 18. If the condition is true, then it just prints this text: 20 is greater than 18. So we can test with variables as well, so we can compare two different variables. So we can check is x greater than y here, and that's basically it. So you should be familiar enough with if statements from previous Java modules. So we'll move on to the else statement. So this is the otherwise block. So if this condition is true, then the if will be executed, this block of code. But if it's not true, then we can execute the code that's in the else block. So we'll look at some examples of that. So we set time to 20 if 20 is less than 18, which it's not. We print good day, otherwise print good evening. So this is going to output good evening because 20 is not, this is going to be false. So this block is going to execute. And as usual, you know, we enclose the if-else in parentheses. If you've just got one line after the if or the else, then you know you don't need the brackets, but it's normally good practice just to include them anyway, just to be safe. Okay, so if we wanted to start to string together some multiple conditions, so what we could do is first condition would just be the if, and then we could add a second condition with else if, and put our condition in the brackets. So again, very similar to Java. And then your else, of course, always goes at the very end. So this can be any length. You can, you know, add more else ifs in here. So you could add a third condition, a fourth condition. These can be as long as you want, or as short as you want, but they always end the same. They always start with an if. They have else if for the conditions in the middle, and then else is basically the default condition. So when everything else is false, this is what will execute. So in this instance, if condition 1 is false and condition 2 is true, then this code's going to execute. Okay, so we'll look at an example of that. So if time is 22, so we can check, is it less than 10? is less than 20, else so just leave our default again at the end. So we could also have in there if time is less than 30 and put in some other print statement. But we always need to end with else. Okay, so that's pretty much just everything there is. Whenever you start to get comfortable with if else and if else ladders, or let's say you had a simple condition like this where there's just one line after you want to display either one thing or the other. This is when this kind of shorthand if else comes in really handy. So sometimes you just want to check a variable or check a condition, and if it's true, output one thing, and if it's false, output another. So normally what we would do is we would just do if whatever the condition is, and then if it's true, output that, and then else, so if it's false, then would be in the else block of code. So instead of doing all of this here, what we could do is the exact same thing on just one line. So it's basically going to assign, we're setting up a string variable called result, and this is the shorthand. So this is our condition in the brackets, and then we have the what's called the ternary operator, so just the question mark, and then the first value after the question mark is going to be if this value is to true, that's what's going to be assigned, and then after the colon, this is our false. So if this turns out to be false, this is basically our else condition. So if we tried that out, yeah, we should see it says good evening, because it's just going to assign one or the other. As we said before, Boolean expressions are either just going to be true or false. They're mutually exclusive. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we need to know about if statements, if else statements, and if else ladders as well. And also this is really handy for especially things when you're outputting things to screen, things like this, or maybe you just want to test a variable, like somebody's age or something like that. So it's always good, again, this shorthand stuff, you should try and be comfortable with writing it like this first, and then once you're kind of comfortable with that, you can compress it down. It's basically just the condition, whatever's true, whatever's false. Okay, so that's everything for the video. Thanks for watching.